How to do bar chords. Well, first thing you gotta realize is that this finger needs to be strong. And even if your finger's fat like mine, if you haven't practiced bar chords a lot, then chances are it's not gonna be strong enough. So then your question is, well, how do I make my finger strong enough? Well, you gotta use it, and probably, at least I think so, one of the best ways to kind of isolate this finger is to only use this finger when you make a bar. So sit here on like your 5th fret or 3rd fret, bar across, and just let all these other fingers hang off. Just kind of hold it on there nice and tight and go through all 6 strings, making sure they sound. Move it around, and even try the F. Just make sure you keep all these fingers off. So, a couple things to notice when you're just using your bar here is you have your wrist angle, but you also have the way you're using your pointer finger. So like, is it laying sideways across the fret, or is it laying flat across the fret? Is it laying high above the fret, or is it hanging lower on the fret? Those are all things to kind of pay attention to, and everyone's hand is different, so you might need to experiment to get whatever, makes this sound. All 6 strings sounding. That's what matters the most. Well, obviously you don't hurt yourself in the process, but you know what I mean. So when I'm around the 5th fret here, my finger normally is a little flatter, maybe it's a little sideways, and it's also a little lower on the fret. But when I get to the F up here, then I like to move my finger up so it's up higher more, and I also like to hold it more sideways. Just feels better that way and works for me. And then wrist angle. You want your wrist to be bent. If you think you can play bar chords like this, you're not human. So keep your wrist like that, because you can try keeping a flat wrist, but chances are you're not letting your fingers have enough room to I don't know, have the clearance to make it so they're not muting the other strings. So, I don't know. Play it like this if you don't want to learn bar chords fast. Play it like this if you want to actually learn. But yeah, once you've got that one finger once you got it strong, then add those other fingers on there, and it'll be a lot easier. That's about all there is to it. Just takes time practicing that little bit and just getting this finger strong. Maybe one other thing to pay attention to is where you have your thumb positioned. So when I play a bar chord, do I have my thumb here, or do I have it here? Or do I even have it like this? I don't know. Sometimes I can get away with it being positioned like this. I normally don't, but I don't know, depending on whatever angle you feel like playing at, maybe that works. For me, at least on this spot on the neck, I like to kind of have it right there. Works for me. But if I'm going down here on the F, I like to have it here so you can kind of like torque it against, because you're kind of making like a pivot when you do this. And so if your thumb is down and you put your elbow in, you're kind of making your finger press hard against that F. so you get a nice clean one. So those are the things to pay attention to, and then before you know it, a few weeks or a couple months, you can sound like a bar chord weirdo like me.